Pina De Rosa, and I'm saying hello to you from the USC Business School SoGal Summit. It is the largest student-led female entrepreneur summit in Southern California. I'm really excited to be here today to speak about 10 years of wisdom in 10 minutes. I want to thank the entrepreneurs who invited me here today. The organizer, her name is Pocket Sun. She's a graduate student from China that's organized all this today. It's phenomenal. And let's go meet the students.
Thank you. Good morning. Everybody awake? Is it just me? Everybody awake? Okay, good. Who here is committed to growth? Just by a show of hand. Okay, good. And who's ever had an obstacle in their lives? Okay, good. Should we handle them both in the next 10 minutes? Shall we? So if you'd like, go ahead and turn to the person next to you and say, let's handle this. And turn to the person to the other side and say, like Olivia Pope would say, it's handled. Very good. So I would like to thank Pocket for inviting all of us here today at the USC Marshall Business School, or School of Business, I should say. And I loved your story. Gosh, your hologram, like just everybody that's here participating is phenomenal. And I was thinking, what could I share in a few minutes that would make the biggest difference? Because you guys, you woke up, there's people that are still asleep in their dorm rooms or wherever they may be, and you are the committed ones. So I wanted to make sure that this would be the best use of your Saturday morning. So recently I was asked this question of if you had to distill it down into 10 minutes, what would be your 10 years of wisdom in 10 minutes? And I thought about it, and I figured it's down to two things. The first one is the story of the lumberjacks. You've ever heard of those two lumberjacks? They do those things that the lumberjacks do. They cut wood, they chop wood. And the Canadian and the Norwegian lumberjacks are down to the final two. They do lumberjack Olympics. They actually do. And the ones that chops the most wood is the one that wins the trophy. So they start at 8 a.m., they finish at 4 p.m., and they get the trophy at the end of it. So as they both start together, chopping wood, the Canadian hears at 8:50 the Norwegian take a break. And as he continues chopping wood, he hears the Norwegian come back again, chopping at 9 o'clock. And they continue chopping wood, and they continue chopping wood until about 9:50, the Canadian hears the Norwegian take a break again for another 10 minutes. And then at 10 o'clock, he hears him come back again. So he figures at 4 o'clock, it's like, the trophy is mine. And they end up giving the trophy of the Lumberjack Olympics to the Norwegian. So the Canadian's like, how did you do that? I heard you, we were chopping at the same time, and then you took a break for 10 minutes every hour. How the heck did you chop more wood than I did? And the Norwegian's like, well, it's pretty simple. You kept chopping, I was sharpening my axe. And this is what you're doing here today. You could be sleeping in, you could be, like burning the midnight oil and work all night and then, like meet the deadline at the very last possible minute. But instead what you do is you planned, you did all kinds of things that you didn't do to be here today. There's all kinds of things that you had to arrange, maybe car batteries you had to start, or just different things that you had to arrange to be here today. Babysitters, maybe even for those of us who are out there in the world with kids or four-legged kids, all kinds of kids, right? So if you don't so much relate to lumberjacking, maybe you relate to piano playing or any of those ways that we fine-tune our acts. You could have Beethoven come back from the grave, and if the piano's out of tune, even Beethoven's not going to sound so good. So this up here, this is your act, especially as you're here at USC. This is what you're sharpening. For you to be here today as a speaker donating your time, or as Pocket, who's here from China, creating all this, I do an event like this for my company every year called a Gratitude Summit, and we take a moment to just sharpen the axe for the day. What does that look like for you? It could be taking a moment to actually take a bath instead of a quick shower. That could be as simple as that. Instead of the go, 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 do, do, do society that we live in that just keeps us going, especially as women. You know, when our testosterone runs out, because we have testosterone but way less than men do, when our testosterone runs out, then our adrenaline kicks in. So we just go, 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 go. We keep chopping, 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 but it's counterproductive. It doesn't work. When we have too much adrenaline in our system, it's literally killing our organs. So my invitation in the first of the 2 points of 10 years of wisdom in 10 minutes is for you to find a way to sharpen your axe. And when you take a break, take it without guilt. You know, I'm the kind of person where I work hard, but I also play hard. So when you unplug without guilt. If that means taking a daycation, you know, maybe going to Santa Monica for the day, or maybe talking to your best friend for a whole hour instead of a quick text, to pick up the phone and being able to chat with her and catching up. Whatever your sharpening the axe might be. It might be that yoga class, or it might be, you know what? I'm actually needing to take a break before I get too tired because it's going to get counterproductive. Instead of just keep playing the piano, keep playing the piano, keep playing the piano. So that to me is your first of the 10 years of wisdom in 10 minutes, your first point is really make a point to fine-tune that piano up here and take a moment, whatever that looks like for you. Make sure you're vigilant about it. The second thing is we're all very into personal development. We maybe even go to very spiritual type classes, and we envision things, and we do business plans, and we do like future visions and all of those things. And those are great. We've seen those concepts, and we've seen that sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But we just keep going, right? So what if I gave you proof that those things work? Would that be useful? Proof, right? Not just as a concept. Because there's the concept of patience, there's the experience of patience. Two very different things. The concept of sleep, the experience of sleep. The concept of money, the experience of money, right? Very different. What if we had the concept of visioning and actually the experience of visioning, that it works? So the next process that I've prepared for you is very simple. It's fun, it's interactive, it lasts 2 minutes. But we're only going to do it if you want proof of two things. One, if you want proof of the power of your vision. And two, if you want proof that you can get past any obstacles. You know, she shared the story about getting past obstacles. You shared the story about getting past obstacles. You invited us to keep going and get past obstacles. What if I gave you proof that you can? Not the concept of it, but the experience of it. Who's interested in that? Yes? Okay, good. So here's how this process is going to go. Literally 2 minutes. If you're right-handed, you're going to use your right hand. If you're left-handed, you're going to use your left hand. I happen to be right-handed, so this is the one I'm going to use. And nothing's weird's going to happen, no like touch a neighbor, do a massage or anything. It's not that kind of thing. But, although you might enjoy that too. And let me put the microphone down. Not next to the other.
So I'm going to, can you still hear me, Bruce?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. So I'm going to project, and I'm going to show you what the process looks like, and then we'll do it together, and then we'll debrief for 30 seconds, and we'll wrap up powerfully. So I want you to, remember, we're doing this if you want proof of two things. One, proof of the power of your vision, proof that you can get past any physical limitation, any mental limitation, any obstacle. So you'll have your two hands facing each other. And if you've done this process before, let me show it to you first, and then we'll do it together. If you've done this process before, it'll work even better the second time. So watch it first. We'll have the two hands facing each other, and then I'm going to ask you with your dominant hand to go to your limit. And whatever your limit is, so if you've done yoga yesterday and you're a stretch girl, then go for it, or stretch boy, then go for it. And then I'd like you to just take a visual mark so that for me, I know that it was right around here. So if I were to ask you how far did you go, you'd be able to tell me. And you'll stay there for a second, and then we'll just bring it back. This is as complicated as it gets, okay? So go ahead and take your stand here. Make sure you have enough space so you don't slap the neighbor. They may or may not enjoy it, but just have enough space, stagger, get out of your seat.
stay there for a moment. Take a visual mark. Very good. Got it. And then bring it back. Very good. Now go ahead and close your eyes. I promise nothing weird is going to happen. I promise. Keep your eyes closed, and my eyes are closed as well. And I want you to imagine in your mind's eye that you're making the same movement without physically needing to do it. Just go ahead and imagine that you're swinging that arm wide open to that limit, to that spot. And then imagine it now 1 foot further, 2 feet further, maybe even 3, and then imagine swinging it right back. Very good. Very good. Now in your mind's eye, one more time without physically needing to do it, just see it. Your inner eye is wide open, your outer eye is still shut. Go ahead and see it all the way to that point, to that limit, and then 1 foot further, 2 feet further, maybe even 3, and then imagine bringing it right back. Very good. Your arms are getting heavier. It's good. Just courtesy of gravity. It's working at USC. It's all good. One last time. Imagine that arm swinging right to that limit without physically needing to do it. And then imagine it 1 foot further, 2 feet further, maybe even 3, and then imagine bringing it right back. Excellent. Very good. Now in a moment, we're all going to open our eyes. We're actually physically going to make the movement together. And then we'll take a seat and debrief. We'll wrap this up. So go ahead, open your eyes, and go for it. Bring it back. Just look around. Who went further? Nice. Good job. Take a seat. Why do you think? Why do you think? Why do you think you went further? Yeah, you saw it in your mind first. Absolutely. Remember I told you we were going to do this process if we wanted proof of 2 things. One, if you wanted proof of the power of your vision. I think we got that. 1 foot further, 2 feet further, maybe even 3. You just went for it because you saw it first, right? And then 2, if you want proof that you can get past any limitation. So I asked you to go to your limit. That was a physical limitation. I went from this little guy here to the middle of that one over there. Now, it's interesting because I know where this goes, so I hold the whole committee of voices in my head, that that's the limit, I already stretch, I already know where it goes, and I still go further each time. If you've got teenage brothers, sisters, children, do it with them, because it'll work, especially if they're too cool for school, and then they get to apply it to basketball, to math tests, to a dance recital, wherever it is, kind of like, you know, her mom was saying, it's not that you can't, it's you don't want to. But then when you envision it, imagine this. If you went past a physical limitation in the space of 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, however long it took us to do that process, what could you surpass? Now that you've got a couple more minutes in your life, maybe you've got a whole week in your life, maybe you've got a whole month, a whole year, a whole lifetime. You know? So where does this apply? I'm asking you, where does this apply? What you've just learned today, the sharpening your axe and getting past your limits. Everywhere. Why? Why not? That's a good answer as well. Yeah. Where is it going to make a difference for you? I want to hear. Like for him, it's everywhere. Where is it going to make a difference for you? It's not television. Go for it. Respond back. Where is it going to make a difference? What areas of your life? Career goals, yeah, absolutely. Especially when we're like, okay, well, I already set my, goal to my max. Well, how about 1 foot further, 2 feet further, maybe even 3? Yeah? I heard a voice. Where does it apply? I'm hearing voices just in my head. Where does it apply? Career goals? Where else? Where is it going to make a difference? Fitness. Do you know I recently just lost a little bit over 50 pounds that for 20 years I was going up and down with? And I finished just writing a book about it, and I'm not saying this to impress anybody, but to impress upon you that if I can do it after 2 decades of yo-yo, surely anyone can. Yeah, and I'm actually going to start taking that book as a date rape prevention and date rape awareness around colleges, because that was, for me, the catalyst that got me to gain the weight so I could keep safe and not feel too visible. Fitness, absolutely. Like, I didn't think that I could do it because I tried for over 20 years. Now, it may not be 50 pounds, it may be 10, but whatever it is, if we think it's an obstacle, we believe it. Okay, very cool. If you have questions, I know it's been 10 minutes or so, but if you have questions, I'll be around. I have a TED Talk that's out there. If you love watching TED Talks, I can send you a link to mine. If you want to find out more about what I just did in fitness or in career goals or everywhere. I'll be around all day. All day I'm here for you, so feel free to ask me or stop me. And thanks for how you participated today. Thanks for USC inviting us here today.
Hello everyone, I'm here at USC Business School at the SoGal Summit, and this is Rocket Sun. She is the organizer of the first and largest student-led female entrepreneur summit in Southern California. So first of all, thank you for organizing all this. Thanks for having all of us here. And this is the first of many years, right?
Hopefully we can bring this to other places in the country.
What are the hashtags or anything we should know about?
Yeah, so we're using hashtag #IamSoGal.
I am SoGal.
Yes, and our Twitter handles are SoGal Summit and I am SoGal.
Right, well, how can we help you bring this to
I think, wow, great question. I haven't even thought about that because I've been so, involved with this. So.
Are you happy with how it turned out?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Amazing. I've been learning a lot. Thanks for inviting me to speak, but I certainly listen for the other speakers. How about we just tweet it, we retweet it, post it. That's a place to start?
Yeah, thank you.
Michael. This is Sun. She's a graduate student here from China, and look what she started. So, it's a great example. It's a time to step it up, people.
Thank you.
Thank you.